Hello again, it's Jen Joseph here from Envisage Executive Coaching. Well, we've addressed the issue of flight and fight, and now we're going to address fright. Okay, got to get these teeth back in. So, fright, in my opinion, especially after I read this article on fear and making fear your best friend, comes into the category of fear. But also, when I look at it, I see that fright is a pseudo emotion mimicking flight or fright. So to me, it starts to mimic fright or flight so that we allow fright to enter into our system and therefore starts to pump the chemicals that will cause that same or a similar feeling. But here instead, fright can serve two purposes. One, we can often, and we do often use fright to get a thrill. So we'll watch horror movies, or we'll go on extreme rides, or there are many things that we will do. We'll go speeding down the motorway because we want a quick thrill. And this is something that we consciously have control of when it's for a thrill. However, we can become addicted to that thrill, and we call ourselves adrenaline junkies when that happens. But it can even go further than the adrenaline junkie who knows why he's doing what he's doing. Fright can be an unconscious desire to escape, but being immobilized from escaping. So unlike flight, which mobilizes you, fright freezes you. So when we hear the statement, we should make fear our best friend, when fright, flight, and fight have a similar feeling at the beginning, so similar that we don't question it, we just allow it to be, then its positiveness that the writer was trying to indicate is actually lost. Because, as I said, fright, when it is not used for thrill seeking, will immobilize the person. Now, here's the thing. We've seen in the grief cycle that there is a point where people start to stagnate, where they go into denial. Well, that's the point where fright actually operates, in the denial part of the curve, where the person becomes so terrified that nothing can make sense in their life. They cannot move forward, they cannot move backwards. The terror has them stuck as though in a quagmire, sinking deeper and deeper and deeper until they're consumed and subsumed by the actual emotion. The chemical signal, whilst it begins feeling like something familiar, flight or fight, is actually something completely different, because it's going around a different circuit in the brain. And it's going through memories, triggering memories from the past to enable it to have a longer life. So, and you'll remember this from encounters you've had, where something's happened bad and you've remembered it, and then other things happen bad and you've remembered it, and then other things happen, and then you've said to yourself, this always happens to me. So fright can attach itself to those memories and trigger the feeling of hopelessness whenever you get into a particular situation, so that no longer can you be proactive. Now you're running on old memories that says, this always happened to me, I cannot protect myself. So then the purpose of fright can be one for thrill seeking, but 2 for escaping, but it is immobilizing. It leaves an individual the feeling that they cannot protect themselves, that they cannot do anything to get out of the situation. Now, I work with people who have had traumas from childhood, particularly emotional and sexual traumas. And this one is the biggest one that they encounter, this inability to protect themselves. Now, what happens then is that the mind and the emotions get overwhelmed until it's not possible to have a broad and enjoyable life. Life becomes very narrowed to the things that they know are familiar and will not frighten them too much. I'd like you to go back to your journals again and just record some incidences where you felt fright and explain to yourself what was going on in your mind, what was going on in the event. Why did you feel that you had no control? And what would you do differently if it ever happened again? Right, this is Jen Joseph, leaving you for now and releasing your confidence.